Are they out of the lot now?
No, they're pulling around. Hang on just a second. Looks like she's going to go to the Bowles side.
You are watching a drug bust in action. Authorities in Missouri are chasing down a suspected player in what some call the most dangerous drug in America.
They've got the lights going. They're going to stop her. They're going to stop her right up here.
The drug is methamphetamine, a home-brewed substance that can induce euphoria and trigger schizophrenia, and it's once again on the rise in the country. But this police action is not targeting labs in homes. Instead, cops are staking out drugstores where the vital meth ingredient pseudoephedrine is sold. That ingredient is found in many cold and sinus pills, and authorities are keeping a close eye on who's buying it and how often.
We had some undercover officers, plainclothes officers, go inside of the store. They would sit in the waiting room, basically where the pharmacy is. When they would observe a purchase being made, they would advise the individuals on the outside, the police officers in the marked units and the undercover cars, that they just had a purchase.
However, since the government put a limit on how much of this people can buy, meth makers have been recruiting more and more people to go out and get the drugs for them. In fact, police say when they question suspects about their motives, they say most of the time they were not getting the pills because they have a cold.
I would say that 60% of the purchases that are being made are going to the manufacturer of methamphetamine in this area.
However, not everyone, including the DEA in Washington, is convinced tracking sales is the best way to combat meth.
I think the law books they're just not working. They've easily defeated it by simply using false identification or just using a larger number of people.
Boggs is a leading expert on meth and has watched the number of labs grow and grow in the past few years. The AP has found that in 2009 there was a 34% increase in the number of meth busts, seizures, and abandoned sites. And in some states, the increase has been even more remarkable, like a 65% rise in Kentucky and a 164% jump in Oklahoma. Boggs says that's mainly due to people being able to skirt the current tracking methods.
They just go from store to store to store and buy package after package after package, and they evade the reporting requirements.
However, the current trend is not taking place everywhere. Mississippi and Oregon, in fact, have seen sharp declines in the number of lab seizures, and officials say that's mainly due to a law that requires a prescription to get these drugs.
If you can adequately control those chemicals, you will adequately decrease the number of domestic meth labs in the United States, which will be a very good thing for the people of the United States.
There are worries, though, that forcing people to get a prescription would fill doctors' offices with people looking for simple remedies to the common cold. But Boggs says there's been little public outcry in those states so far, and now more and more local governments are considering moving these drugs out of the aisles and behind the pharmacist's counter. Sagar Meghani, The Associated Press.